completely slow or takes time at all, and takes it out of the game completely. It's really helpful for us to go fast, and it's also really helpful for us to use it as a decent practice tool. There aren't ranks. It's a separate game on speedrun.com, and so as such, it is pretty sovereign, but it's Portal 2 with a little bit of modification in it. This is Portal Carousel. Again, this is chapter 1. Not a lot of stuff that's interesting here. We'll get to a little bit more interesting strats in a couple maps, but they just did Container Ride, and then this was Portal Carousel. Both of our runners pretty well synced up. Hi, Vug. They're both going into Portal Gun here. Normally in Inbounds we'd have a dialogue skip here, but this is speedrun mod, so again, we don't have to worry about dialogue. You can still do the dialogue skip, but it's faster to just simply skip the amount of dialogue that you, or the amount of walking that you have to do, because really the objective in this game is to get to the elevator as fast as you can, because it's already there at the end of the level. Normally, when we're running Inbounds No SLA, the main category for Portal 2, we have to deal with dialogue blocking our exit from the level, so we do have to wait for stuff, so that's where a dialogue skip comes in handy most of the time. Looks like Msushi having a little bit of an unfortunate time in Smooth Jazz. Again, you really hate to see it. Zypeh also having a little bit of a rough time with that portal. So, pretty even at the back end here. We're gonna go into the next map here. Pretty even still. I think Zypeh's got a little bit of a lead. Cube Momentum is where it really starts getting interesting here. You'll notice Zypeh just did a portal stand, and Msushi's about to. A portal stand is when you stand in a portal and then you move backwards. You do have to move backwards because of the 200 unit per second momentum velocity boost that the game gives you when you step in a portal. We'll be using that for an exploit later, but for now we just use it to go backwards. And so you can really use that for instant travel. You can bunny hop over this gap, skip the whole thing, do what's called a button glitch, or a button stick, or a button stuck glitch, or whatever you deem to call it. The button gets stuck for exactly 1 tick, and the game figures that's a good idea. So it has the button be active the whole time. Normally in Inbounds, you'll see what Zypeh just did and what Msushi's about to do. You can just shoot right through here normally in Inbounds. If you played casually, you'd have to go through a whole minute-and-a-half cutscene here. And if you even do the decent route, there's a almost sub-pixel perfect shot that shoots right through the top of the door. We might see that later from these runners in Turret Factory, or Turret Sabotage rather, but I'm not entirely sure if we will end up seeing that. Of course, these runners into Wake Up right now, and this another cutscene that is normally there but is not in this game. You'll see them bunny hopping down these corridors, bunny hopping and wall strafing, of course, the fastest ways to move in this game. And this elevator, normally you'd take it up and you'd start a cutscene, but you can just go down it because the level load trigger's down there. Msushi gonna do a little bit of an interesting incinerator start here.
Be careful not to flare.
Both of them gonna be doing a little bit quicker of incinerators than most. I'll get to it for bread. I promise you. Both of them ending out a little bit sooner. Zypeh at so this is like pretty much a half a second race right now. This is going to be really close, at least right now. I mean, strat variations later might get interesting, and laser intro is hard sometimes, but looks like they both made it through eventually. Going into laser stairs here, Zypeh looks like he crouched at the stairs a little bit too hard. I mean, it is worth noting, Zypeh is going into this blind, pretty much. He's been, I think, playing challenge mode, or CM, and it looks like he's having a lot of time with he's having a pretty interesting time at the very least with laser stairs. Completely reasonable. Msushi's about to do he's about to do a laser switch glitch, and he just did. It's really really fast. But I will explain first that when you press up against a door and the door gets activated, even for just a split second, for only like one frame, that is enough for the door to open for you, because it doesn't want to squish you. If you play co-op, it is of course an intended mechanic to squish your friends indoors, but the single player is merciful enough that it doesn't decide to do that. Adding to that, when you have two laser receptors connected to the same door and you switch one laser to the next, that means that the door will be open for that split second, which is just enough for them to, get through the door. Msushi just did laser over goo, and actually arguably one of the hardest strats in the game, called Wet Maker. It involves a circle jump reportal and some rather complicated maneuvers. Looks like Zypeh is actually regaining a bit of a lead here. He might be trying for some CM strats later. If this lead change gets any bigger, really.
Oh, sorry. I'm still cleaning out the test chambers.
Of course, this is Trust Fling that both of our runners are now on. It's a pretty rudimentary map. It's a little bit optimized for Speedrun mod. Like with the directions that the faith plates go, and the panels not being at the front and the middle. It looks like Zypeh is having a little bit of trouble with this circle strafe. Gonna have to load quick 01 there. There you go. Third tries the charm, or maybe not.
Anyway, just an interesting science fact.
No, so she's gonna look for triple reportal here, not the super reportal. I mean, it's completely reasonable to see. It's not at all blasphemy, but it looks like it does have a little bit of a higher fail rate if you do resort to that. He does get it first try, third try, second try, something like that. Zypeh, of course, going to go for the super reportal, which is going to be a pretty good route variation here, where you do a super reportal and you go up to the top. A super reportal, of course, while they're both in Fizzler intro, utilizes that 200 momentum boost that I was talking about earlier with the portal stand. And if you get stuck in a portal in such a way, like for example with the floor, if you look at a specific angle and shoot a portal into the floor while one is also at the top or at the bottom of a wall, you'll get stuck in the portal, and you can then stack those 200 momentum velocity boosts. It's really useful for like that chamber. There's one in laser over goo that neither of our runners did here, and maybe they will later if they screw up Wet Maker, but it's a pretty easy way to get a lot of momentum really, really quickly. Both of them doing ceiling catapult here, and Msushi and Zypeh both going into ricochet right about now. Both of them, I think, gonna go for panel fling here. I don't see why they wouldn't, really. Panel fling, really a miracle of modern geometry and level physics. Looks like Sushi got that cube throw off for dialogue, but did not have the cube stay on the button, so that's alright. Zypeh gonna go for the CM strat just to flex on everyone, and the backup throw as well. Panel fling, which is what you saw Msushi do, really is, a miracle of modern engineering. The cube has to cross that laser just enough to have the panel go down, go back up, and be at just the right angle to fling you directly at the end. And you have to grab the cube halfway through. So Sushi, a little bit ahead coming out of bridge intro here, but certainly less of a lead than it was earlier.
Good news. I figured out what to do with all the money.
Gonna come in to bridge the gap here. Normally, if you don't have decent bunny hops and inbounds, this is a rough chamber for a lot of people, because of door skip, which skips, I think, a 45-second cutscene. Which this, again, it's speedrun mod, so we don't talk about 45-second cutscenes. We just don't think about them. They're like evil demons in our minds. Msushi into turret intro here.
That's you in 5 seconds.
And I mean, Zypeh is into turret intro too. It's nice to see a little bit of variation in the directions that people run. I mean, I don't come across a lot of right-handed turret jump pasters. And of course, most of the people going into laser relays, here's Zypeh just a little bit behind. Msushi gonna do another laser switch glitch here, just like that. Unfortunately, not gonna get it the first try, but can just press against the door, get it second try. Zypeh is gonna get it first, which means he's gonna be a little bit ahead of where he was, but still red on his splits. So you know, we'll certainly see. Msushi into turret blocker here, as is Zypeh. I'm gonna assume that both of them are gonna do the damage boost. Yep, damage boost. Okay. That damage boost is really just, it's utilizing the massive amount of momentum you get when a turret shoots you in midair. It's enough to knock someone out of a faith plate's trajectory. And so we utilize that to go through the portal onto that platform where the turrets are. This is laser versus turret. This is the first of 2 maps that really is just the default route, but fast. There is a CM route that is out of bounds, but it's not that consistent. Zypeh, unfortunately, gonna have to wait for this turret to reset. That's one of the close ones as well, so we would have had some issues with that. So, not quite sure how he's not losing time on that split, but that's completely alright. Hello, everyone from SpeedGaming Deutsch. I don't speak German, but I know a couple people that do. This is the Portal 2 speedrun mod, which is a modification for Portal 2. That, you know, takes out every cutscene piece of dialogue, most of the elevators that are slow, anything that takes time, basically, it's not here.
Oh, come on. If it makes you feel any better,
Our runners are Msushi and Zypeh, both very, very high caliber runners. And this is, right now, a very, very close race. Normally in inbounds, and Msushi would be doing Jerry Skip right now, but again, that's a 30-second cutscene, and we do not talk about those. Normally, we'd have to do a little bit of tick rate finagling to, you know, clip out of the elevator. It's, you know, a little bit of a difficult trick to do, but easy to do once you learn it. The point is, we don't have it here because we don't need it here. Zypeh looks like he's going to go for the CM laser chaining route as well.
And I came up with a solution that I honestly think
Looks like he's gonna do a manual cube placement there just to be safe. Msushi into triple laser, which is the 3rd execution of a laser switch glitch here. You'll notice we wiggle and wobble the cube all day long until the door opens for us, and then we can just go out to the end. Normally in inbounds we would have to do it twice to get the door and then get the dialogue, but again, this is not inbounds and we don't need dialogue.
A real surprise with tragic consequences. What's going on?
So she's gonna go for the bridge early route, but not the jumping one. It's not really that viable in speedrun mod. We'll see what Zypeh does as well. Of course, these are very, very bunny hop heavy chambers. So if you're good at bunny hopping, they're fast, and if you're not, they're not. But really, the only interesting thing is the early bridge and that stair boost that you just saw both of the runners do. Saves about 5 seconds. If you don't get the stair boost, it's not the end of the world. I assume in escape here, you'll be able to see, yep, the going around an invisible clip brush that Msushi just did, and I think Zypeh will do it as well. Looks like he's going to go for the interesting route. Going to make a quick save here, jump over Wheatley, go over to the end, and that's immediately faster than what Zypeh is going to do here, because he got it first try. If it's second try, that's a breaking even kind of standpoint, and if he gets a third try, then you're losing time. But, you know, spit a skip is pretty versatile, and doesn't work a lot of the time, but, you know, it worked for Msushi today. Zypeh, of course, using portals for instant travel. Both of our runners on Turret Factory. Again, another bunny hopping, really, really heavy chamber. A lot of wall strafing, a lot of bunny hopping. A little bit of panel optimization. you do have to get a good, panel cycle in order to not run into them, or you can jump on the rail up top. But then, yeah, it's a lot of bunny hopping while strafing. Going on the rails here is a little bit of optimizing time for really an as the crow flies perspective, as opposed to something else. It is important to note the lights are on here. This was made legal a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years, because it's technically a disadvantage if you can't see, and that cutscene is normally dark enough that people with, less than average monitors could not actually see where they were going. So turning the lights on was just really a quality of life thing and more an equality of life thing. Looks like we'll have Msushi doing the turret strategies here. A little bit slower than first try turretless, but completely consistent and works every time. Looks like I might have a little bit of difficulty getting the second one in here, but that's alright. And using portal for instant travel, going around the door. And we'll see if Zypeh does that as well.
Was there any sort of announcement before it opened, like a buzzer or an alarm of some kind, or like a hacker alert? I mean,
looks like Zypeh is going to get one. It looks like he got slightly better RNG as well.
That did not end
Or a better cycle. This entire room is cycle-based, as is the next one that both of our runners will go into. Of course, again, this is Speedrun mod, so it is modified to give you only defective turrets for time optimization. So Msushi out of this right here at a basically 15 minutes, and Zypeh is going to come out of it at, I think, like 15:25-ish, or maybe 35. Point is, this lead is a lot wider than it was in Chapter 2, partly because of a death in Turret Factory, and partly because of a little bit of laser chaining havoc. Alright, and Msushi going into what would be Two Bride, but in fact is not Two Bride. We just go straight into core, because Two Bride is a minute-long cutscene that we didn't really need to have in Speedrun mod. That it does count as a map. There are 62 maps in Portal 2 and 60 maps in the Portal 2 Speedrun mod, because it also discounts Longfall, which is what Msushi would be going to after core. Again, normally in Inbounds you'd have an elevator skip here, which saves a 2.5-minute cutscene, but we're already saving a 2.5-minute cutscene plus elevator skip plus another 1.5-minute cutscene. And another 1-minute cutscene if I'm remembering how long Longfall is. Anyway, this is the beginning of the back half of the game. This is Underground, where again there's a lot of portal standing, a lot of bunny hopping. We'll get a little bit more interesting strats in the maps coming up here. Looks like Msushi going for door skip here. That's not actually what it's called. I don't know if there's actually a name for it, but you skip the big old door, and so I'm calling it door skip. Zypeh doing basically the same thing you saw Msushi doing. Sushi lining up for what I think is going to be the Cave Johnson reportal here. This is a shot named Cliff Shot that you're not really supposed to do. Developers thought you wouldn't be able to do it, but with this, there's a scripted momentum trigger, and so what a scripted momentum trigger is, in essentiality, is when a player goes through it at a set velocity, it will land you at the same spot every time on a certain platform, regardless of how fast you're going. And it also helps with like impossible shots, or impossible flings rather. And adding that to a reportal, which is I think what Zypeh is going to do here as well. That gives you just enough velocity to skip that blue room entirely, that turn on the gel, wait for the door kind of thing. Sushi doing a cube clip in Repulsion intro, one of the most notorious maps for being bad. Little bit faster way to get into that room, and using the faster strat to get to the top of O2 without even doing the first half of the second half of the test. Yes, and also it's worth mentioning that was the wrong side of cube clip, and Zypeh is not actually going to go for a cube clip, but is going to go for this strat. Unfortunately, going to miss it here. Gonna have to try that one more time, get enough height there. Got it second try, no problem for Zypeh. He's gonna still have the lights on, turns the lights off, just as I say that. And this is bomb flings, utilizing a Pika portal and a or not a Pika portal, a portal stand and a one reportal at the back end to get you up top. Normally you just had a regular fling. Yeah, wouldn't have had too much speed if you did cube clip. Msushi, probably going to go for the Crazy Box Duck Launch here. Looks like he is, which is a really interesting strategy to watch. It kills runs quite frequently. Looks like he got speed locked on the back end here. You're gonna stand on this tube, and so in essentiality, what a stuck launch is, you get stuck, and I mean, you launch, but when going into harder explanations than that, you're essentially stuck between a prop and a hard place. The game's physics engine calculates your velocity by how long you've fallen and not how far you've fallen. And so a stuck launch makes it easy to gain a lot of momentum very, very quickly. Zypeh not going to do that strat, or maybe he is, you never know. Of course, participating in speaker standing gang. But a stuck launch is only useful in these later chapters because we have blue gel under us. Otherwise, it would just kind of like shoot us down towards the ground with nothing else better to do. And at that point, falling is easier anyway. Same thing with orange gel. Okay. Crouch boosting. Cool. Zypeh using a little bit of funneling tricks. Portal funneling is a mechanic in the game that is useful for us to go in and out of portals at perfect 90-degree angles or close to perfect 90-degree angles. When you turn it off, you go out of the portal at the same velocity, at the same angle that you came in, which makes tricks like that Zypeh did way easier. Because you can just skip the whole elevator. I don't play aperture tag. I should play aperture tag, but I don't play aperture tag. It is funny to note that yes, in this game we actually never use the orange gel. Zypeh about to do a circle jump reportal, not unlike the one in Wetmaker, to get to the end of the level really, really quickly. You can use the gel here, but the reportal is faster, and I think there is a Pika portal route that is also faster than using the gel and is a lot easier than going and getting the gel. Msushi coming into a conversion intro here where I think we may see Lemon Skip. Lemon Skip, of course, I think, found by Kurziehow, Route Extraordinaire, video compiled and explained in detail by Msushi 100. Where you do a super reportal here, except this time it's 13, 14 of them. Exclamation point video in the chat or in Msushi 100, whichever comes first. Unfortunately, getting a little bit too much momentum, but gonna land on this catwalk, zero problem, hit the trigger to open the door, and we've just skipped the entirety of conversion intro. Zypeh, I think, gonna go for, yeah, he's gonna go for the quick reportal strat here. In Speedrun modded, Lemon Skip only saves a little bit of time, because this elevator in inbounds is normally slow, but in Speedrun mod, it is fast. So it looks like Zypeh is going to get a reportal off here. Strafe right onto here, and you know, get right back up to where Sushi was at the end of conversion intro. Looks like Sushi's also going to have a pretty fast 3 gels as well. That's another stuck launch. You do have to have blue gel under you. Zypeh having a little bit of trouble with conversion intro, or the back half of it, rather. And then he seems like he's going to end out okay. Sushi having a little bit of trouble with some ramping stuff there. And maybe some portal placements as well. Tube bounce looks like he's gone fine, though. I think Zypeh's got some weird gel. That portal, I don't think, landed right where I wanted it to be. Normally, you have it kind of clipped into this portal surface and not actually the default, you know, way here. He's gonna try for a stuck launch, but miss it a little bit. Msushi heading into Chapter 8.
God's sake, your boxes with legs. It's literally
Double stuck in P2SM is slow.
walking onto buttons. How can you not do the one warmer?
Yeah,
Getting hot. Boil. Okay,
we might
let's
see
go.
cube throw from Msushi here. Of course, that is where you throw the cube onto that button, and you don't have to walk over there, and you press against the door, and it works.
I have to test all the time, or I get this
Other runners
this itch.
don't really necessarily have to do cube throw. In inbounds, that's a 1 minute time save. In Portal 2 Speedrun mod, it is, you know, 3-4 seconds of walking over to the button and walking back to the door. Normally there's a panel that blocks your way, but this is Speedrun mod, so we don't have that panel there. Looks like Zypeh finally getting up to the top half of 3 gels. That's really interesting to see from him. So we'll see how his tube bounce goes. But yeah, he's very red. I don't think he's really happy with where he is right now, but that's okay.
It's all right. Everything's good. I just invented some more tests. Not entirely. Not entirely. Look at the
Now, Sushi executing the first edition of a crouch fly glitch here. Put simply, the crouch fly glitch allows you to fly around with the anti-gravity powers of a crouching funnel, but without being in a crouching funnel, because the game has 2 hitboxes for you. Yeah, no clip. We're absolutely cheating. The game has 2 hitboxes, one for physics and one for your entity, and when you crouch, the state of you being in a funnel gets changed from 1 to 2. It thinks you're in 2 funnels because you have 2 hitboxes. But when you change your crouching state and you exit that funnel, you have 2 funnel counts, so to speak, and the game only subtracts one of them because it only ever expects you to be in 1 funnel, so it only needs to subtract 1.
Disappointed.
And that's why we can fly around, is because we still have 1 funnel in our flags until we touch another funnel, which is what you'll see Msushi doing here in Polarity.
Seriously disappointing. Apparently, being civil. It's not enough. If I'm such a moron,
And so you'll see he can now bunny hop around. With Zypeh about to do the first crouch fly as well, so I mean, I would explain it again, but you know, let me know if I missed anything.
Oh, sorry. I hope that didn't disturb you too much. Then it was the same.
He'll be getting crouch fly again a couple of times later in chapters 8 and 9.
What was that? There was nothing. There was nothing. Don't mind me. Just moving the old test chamber a little bit closer to me. I'd have thought maybe.
Msushi not getting stopped the box. You love to see it, really.
What was that?
We can just go walk right in front of the turrets and not get shot to death. It is a little risky, but so you can put the light bridge there if you're feeling so inclined. But you know, I don't know anyone that does, because the turrets are pretty slow by speedrun mod standards. This is going to be a second edition of the crouch fly. Going back, so this one's, you know, gonna get preserved through levels into laser platform, just to do laser platform the more fun way. If I recall correctly, and someone can correct me on this, there's a slightly faster route optimization that involves not getting crouch fly and doing CM routes for laser platform and laser catapult. Yeah, it fast. Speedrun mod removes every cutscene, every dialogue, makes these funnels 50,000 miles an hour. No cutscenes, no elevators. For context, the Portal 2 inbounds no SLA world record is a 58:39 by Can't Even, and the world record for this is, I believe, a 29:44 by Can't Even. Again, someone correct me on that, because I don't think I'm up to date, but it saves about half an hour of cutscenes, elevators, waiting, you know, all that.
Or maybe he still is, in which case, wow, that's kind of...
Only 3 more chambers to your big surprise. Oh,
Msushi getting the crouch fly here. He's going to lose it at the end of this map, but it is much easier to do this map with the crouch fly, because if you don't, you have to do it the default route. But he's going to lose it here. He's going to go into the elevator. Normally, we would keep crouch fly through here, through where Msushi is, Finale 1, and do a couple of little momentum tricks. But the funnel, like we said, is really fast in this mode. Normally this would take ages to do, which is why we skip it, but this time it takes about 4 to 5 seconds to go across that whole thing. So we do Finale 1 default, and then, or not default, a faster version of default, if you will. And then Finale 2 we get crouch fly, and then use it in the rest of Finale 2 and Finale 3. It's really, really useful in Finale 2 and Finale 3. Finale 2 more because it skips a bunch of turrets, Finale 3 some because it skips the rest of the level. SLA is save load abuse. I'm not a foremost expert on the topic, but, you know, if you are saving your game and then having to load it a bunch of times to, like, clip through a wall, that is not necessarily something that you want to do in no SLA, because that's abusing your save load powers. You can glitch buttons, you can clip through walls, sometimes you can go out of bounds. It's really interesting to see. But so Msushi now has the crouch fly for, I think, the last time. And CFG is fun with SLA. I have not actually tried it. So Msushi in Finale 3, of course, barring Finale 4 mishaps, it's really easy to call this one right now, but I can't really do that. The nice thing is their loads are pretty synced, so the timers are also pretty synced. So unless we do have a couple of deaths in Finale 3 and, you know, a little bit of a scuffed bomb preserve in Finale 4, you know, it's easy to see what the idea of the winner is here. Worth noting, both runners just passing world record. Yeah, Portal 2 is has a lot of unfamiliar terms. If you're not familiar with Source games, they're a lot. They're very similar, but you know, it's all slightly different because this one has teleporting mechanics. For example, the question is asked to Msushi all the time: how do turn teleport weapon purple? And that video is in the Portal 2 Speedrun Discord server if you need the advice. So Zypeh heading out of the back half of Finale 1 here. I'm gonna go into Finale 2 and get the crouch fly that he wanted. The good news is that we will see another race, at the very least, and we might see a Game 3 from both of these runners. Yes, the weapon color is a skin. But, you know... But can you explain why oob is bad? It has 2 O's in it, and that's basically illegal. It's simple. It's really self-explanatory. Sushi gonna go for early moonshot here, looks like. If he doesn't get it, I think he's gonna reload a save here. Looks like a 30-58 from Msushi, which Zypeh has just passed. So, we can mark Msushi the winner of this race, and get ready for race 2. It's a pretty heavy click. Okay, we do have audio for Zypeh, so he's gonna go into the back half of Finale 3 here as well. Hopefully Zypeh does better. I mean, they were really close into Chapter 3, which I know is not a really, really good measure of seeing how good a runner is, but they are pretty equal in routes and in timings of routes, so if Zypeh gets consistent in the next race, we'll be able to see perhaps a closer race, and of course I'm not discounting the possibility of the famed Msushi choke. Heading into Finale 4 here, red on his splits, but green in our hearts. Plugging the potato in. Again, Finale 4 is really optimized. Normally we'd have to wait for Wheatley to talk for about a minute or so before we actually got to do the boss fight. That happens in a lot of the game, actually, is Wheatley just kind of keeps talking. Yeah, modding fosters creativity, and hacking is bad. Looks like Zypeh might have just affected his bomb trajectories, but I'm not entirely sure. Looks like he just wasted a bomb, so, you know, we might have to see not a complete bomb preserve from him. 4-minute wrap in the base game, 240-ish in the mod. Okay, nice to know. Looks like Zypeh gonna go for the flank here. He's got it, no problem.
Warning, core corruption at 100%.
You have been a thorn in my side long enough.
Stalemate resolution associate. Please press the stalemate resolution button.
Do not press that button. Part 5, booby trap.
Ooh, looks like no early moonshot for Zypeh here. So we'll see probably a 33-21-ish? Yeah, 21-55. Alright, so we will get a second race in, but for those of you who are sticking around for a second race, make sure to drink some water. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to mute myself for about 5 seconds to make sure my water bottle isn't making ridiculous noises on stream and ruining the vibe. You should also drink some water. And, you know, go to the bathroom, do what you need. Come right back, because we're going to have a pretty riveting race just in a second. All right, everyone who stuck around, yeah, Fanta, like, technically counts. You know, it's not, like, incorrect, so I won't mark you down for it, but make sure you do get some water in your day, Infrared. I've given our runners a countdown in chat, and we do have to deal with a little bit of stream delay, so we'll certainly see how much that is. But until then, it gives me time to reintroduce myself, really, for those of us who are new to the channel, or newer because of that German raid. I'm base-driven. I commentate around here every now and again. I speedrun mainly Portal 2 inbounds, no SLA, which is the main category of the Portal 2 regular game. The Portal 2 speedrun mod is what both of these people are playing. Both of our incredible runners, Msushi and Zypeh, both very high-tiered in both this game and the Portal 2 inbounds, no SLA leaderboards. Zypeh, more of a challenge mode runner. There was a time, and I think he's coming back to the time, really, where he had 60 of 60 single-player world records. So that's what level Zypeh's on, and Msushi held the inbounds no SLA world record just a short while ago. Actually, relatively recently. I think it was like, you know, maybe 1-2 weeks. And so, of course, both of these runners, really high caliber, really interesting to watch run. Pretty interesting style variations, really. They don't have, like, different bunny hops, but they have a different, like, way of doing things. But you'll see some strat variations later that'll be pretty interesting. And for those of you unaware, or who have just joined, this is the Portal 2 speedrun mod. It takes out cutscenes, elevators, dialogue, anything that's slow and you think takes time. We probably don't have it. Like, it's mainly gameplay focused. It allows for a better practice tool for inbounds no SLA, and as a functional base game, it is really, really fun to speedrun. Again, for context, the world record for this is 29:44, 29 minutes, 44 seconds, and the world record for Portal 2 inbounds no SLA is 58 minutes, which is a massive time save when you think about it. Yes, Sushi did win round 1. We are seeing a little bit of issues from Zypeh, so I hope he's doing okay. But you know, until then, well, I'm just gonna hit the button here, and then we'll go back to the Msushi audio. This is gonna be that's a little funky, and I'm not quite sure what happened there. But looks like both of our runners are synced now. Not quite sure what happened there, but it seems like it worked out all right.
This next test applies the principles of momentum to movement through portals. If the laws of physics no longer apply if you are a non-employee who has discovered this facility amid the ruins of civilization, welcome.
Yeah, it's doing a couple splices. Both of our runners going to do a button glitch here, where the button is activated for 1 tick. Msushi got it first try. Zypeh is going to look like for second try. Normally, the next map, Secret Panel, would have an almost sub-pixel perfect shot that allows you to shoot through the door, but we just removed the door because it's easier to shoot through it that way.
Hello? Hello? Excuse me?
Of course, correctly bunny hopping through the back here. Ticks versus frames, there's not a lot of difference. I mean, when you think about it, a tick is basically a frame, because, I mean, if I recall correctly, the tick rate is 60, and most frame rates are pretty much 60. But, tick rate is how fast the things go, and frame rate is how fast your game goes. Look, we're gonna explain cube throw when we get there, Bexy. It's gonna be okay. Patience, young Padawan.
Here we are. The incinerator room. Be careful not to trip over.
Zypeh, unfortunately, getting a little bit of a slower incinerator than Sushi here.
There. Once testing starts, I'm required by
Sushi, of course, did get an interesting start with bouncing off some of the stuff that you're really not supposed to bounce off of, with help from the fact that the start of the level is just so variable.
The place go since you killed me. Not bad. I forgot.
Laser intro first eye for Msushi. Looks like that's just gonna be just fine. Zypeh coming into laser intro here. So this is now a 1-map race already, and will be, you know, a widening gap because Zypeh did not get that shot off.
Well done. Here come the test results. You are a horrible. Don't let that horrible person thing discourage you. It's just a data point. If it makes you feel any better, science has now validated your birth mother.
Seeing a laser switch glitch here from Msushi, looks like he got it first try. Zypeh just having a lot of trouble with laser stairs. This is the 2nd race in a row where he's had issues. Sushi gonna go into laser overgo here. Probably gonna do wet maker. I mean, he might flex on us with the reportal strategy, but for all intents and purposes, wet maker. Looks like he got it first try. Very cool. Like, even before the dialogue ended. That's interesting to see. Zypeh doing a switch glitch here. He's gonna do one. Looks like he missed, however, which isn't, you know, the greatest. You are allowed to make quick saves in this game, and it appears Zypeh has forgotten a little bit about that. But it's quite alright, because he's only 2 maps behind.
Results were highly informative. They could not.
Going into laser overgo here, just as Sushi comes out of catapult intro. Zypeh trying for wet maker, gets it first try, absolutely zero problem. Yeah, CM runners, am I right?
Well, have fun soaring through the air without a care in the world. I have to go to the wing that was made entirely.
You know, if Zypeh is doing SS, I respect him, but that's not a winning strategy.
Oh, sorry. I'm still cleaning out the test chambers. So sometimes there's still trash in them, standing around, smelling and being useless.
Finishing out Trust Fling, Msushi is just right on time there. Both of our runners gonna be in a loading screen here, so, I mean. But yeah, Msushi going into pit flings here. Going to just look at the ground, kind of. And do a little bit of strafing. Not even triple reportal this time. Very well done by Msushi here. Zypeh coming out of Trust Fling here, or, well, doing the strategy for trust fling. I mean, it is one map and it's kind of easy.
Test involves
Um,
anticipation grills.
It's really the same map every time you do it.
I told you about them in the last test
Sushi coming
video.
out of
Did
chapter
not
2
that
into
one.
chapter 3 here. Normally there is a large skip in ceiling catapult here in inbounds that a lot of people have trouble with lately. Sushi's been having a little bit of trouble with it on his streams. But again, completely reasonable to see.
Look at you, sailing through the air majestically, like
Reload, do it again.
piloting a blimp.
Alright, coming out of ceiling catapult here.
Enjoy this next
Gonna do a
test.
cool looking fling. Zypeh going into
Surface.
some kind
It's
of
a
map.
beautiful day out. Yesterday I saw a deer. If you solve this next test, maybe I'll let you ride an elevator all the way up to the break room. And I'll tell you about the time I saw a deer again.
To refresh my commentary stream just to see what's up, because I think I'm probably behind by a little bit. Yeah, looks like I am behind by a little bit because I missed the entirety of Ricochet and basically the entirety of Ceiling Catapult from Zypeh. Rest assured, it's now okay. Okay, stream also died for you guys, because that's... okay, good.
These bridges are made
Sweet.
from natural light that I pump
In any
from the
case,
surface.
bridge
If
intro
you
here.
rubbed your cheek on it, it would be like standing
So she's gonna
outside
take a
with
little bit of a
sun
quicker route.
shining on your face. It would also
Zypeh and
sit
Ricochet
on
here
the
gonna
line
go for the
as a
CM route
natural
just
do.
one more time. Just, you know, to flex on us all.
Excellent. You're a predator.
Unfortunately, not getting the cube throw at the end.
Speaking
So that was, you know, not the most climactic end to the gaming strategy. Sushi going into bridge the gap here. Gonna do the CM route, which is pretty fast, pretty consistent, and works like 80% of the time. Sushi coming really close to bonking his head there, but did not bonk his head, so that's okay.
In the commendation section. This next test involves turrets. You remember them, right? They're the pale spherical things that are full of bullets. Oh wait, that's you in 5 seconds. Good luck.
Zypeh would have missed normal door skip, but the door just stays open there, so we don't have to worry about that. Sushi heading into laser relays here. Looks like we're gonna end up getting a first try at switch glitch. Looks like we got a first try this time. 25 p.m.
That's not me talking. It's right here in your file.
That's one of the weird things that I know about time is that you can put any number before any time prefix, or suffix rather, and then it just works. You can have like 34 o'clock.
I'm going through the list of test subjects in cryogenic storage. I have a surprise waiting for you after this next test. Telling you would spoil the surprise. So I'll just give you a hint.
M263 laser versus turret again. The turrets do explode a little bit faster in Speedrun mod. That's a little bit of extra trivia for those of you not familiar with the game. Finishing here, of course, it is worth noting, she does say she has a surprise for you and then doesn't actually take you to the surprise. In fact, she just takes you to pull the rug, which is not that good of a surprise at all. You know, it's not really that fair, you know? It's not a testament to how good of a game it is. Of course, she does make up for it at the end of Pull the Rug, because you do have a surprise after the end.
I didn't. In fact, we're headed to...
No, Lao and Jest would win. Lao and Jest would win. I have no doubt about that. Lao and Jest versus Can't Even, Lao and Jest would win.
I made it all up. Surprise. Oh, come on. If it makes
That'd be a fun category to watch actually. If with one runner doing full game and one runner doing mod. Which again, it's a 30-minute time difference, but there are some time differences that are about that wide.
Well, you know the
Alright,
old
let's see if we
saying
see
that
another
you
interesting
can't
laser
be
chaining from Msushi here.
And you have been asleep for a while.
Not entirely
So I guess it's
guaranteed.
actually pretty funny when you do the math.
Looks like that portal's a little bit interesting. Looks like he's going to get it across just fine, however. And go to the end just fine with a little bit of strafing.
I thought about our dilemma, and I came up with a
Zypeh coming through
solution.
column blocker, which makes this race a little bit closer. Judging by the gap here, but you know, that's an entire laser chaining and then a couple seconds on top of that. I mean, triple laser is not that long of a map, but it is a 2-map game because of triple laser. Unfortunately, Zypeh not grabbing that cube. I mean, you hate to see it.
A real surprise with tragic.
Not sure what I'm about to see here. I'm gonna see a pretty cool strafe and some weird momentum.
Come on, come on! Come on, come on, come on!
Interesting. We'll see a stair boost again from Msushi. Fast movement, nice stuff. Nice stuff to see from him. Looks like Msushi's actually ahead of his splits right now, which is really refreshing to see. Not, unfortunately, able to jump around that invisible clip brush, but is going to do the regular spit skip here, so looks like it did it just fine until he died. Still ahead of his splits. That's remarkable to see.
Ah, brilliant! You made it through. Well done.
Alright, lights are on so we can see the rest of Turret Factory and a bunch of wall strafes. And Zypeh also
They say that the old
also going to be doing stair boost here, getting stair boost just fine, and heading into escape.
of robots.
Where again, this is
Night, you can still hear the
now a longer 2-map game, I suppose.
all of them functionally
So Zypeh might actually have to resort to doing reliable challenge mode routes.
got a job down here in manufacturing, but guess who the foreman went with? Only an exact duplicate of himself. Nepotism. Ended up giving me the worst possible job. Oh, I'll tell you, humans. Oh, love them. Just the way they look is great, and they're right. Well,
Zypeh coming out of there, Msushi coming out of there, getting a little bit of a weird boost off that pipe, but that's okay. Both of runners in a loading screen, not abnormal at all. Doing a reportal down the turret line to save like half a second or something like that. Jump down here, very cool. Sushi still green. We'll check at like, you know, after chapter 7.
Alright, stand back, everybody. Well, I tried. Come on. Oh, thank God. You saved
Looks
my
like
life.
Zypeh got a decent panel cycle. Looks like Sushi got a good turret cycle.
follow me. You're gonna love this. Ta-da! Only the turret control. Well, that should do it.
Template missing.
What are you? Oh, brilliant! That's brilliant.
Having a little bit of problems with utilizing portals for instant travel, but works it out in the end. Gonna do a little bit of bunny hopping around the back end and get around to neurotoxin sabotage just very soon. Both of our runners actually. So yeah, this is now
That did not
whatever the size
and
of
potato batteries.
turret sabo is.
I mean, I realize they're children.
It's that big of a gap minus like 15 seconds.
It's barely science, really, is it? Don't worry, I'm
Someone should like check their live split, see how big their
It's this way. Okay, let's try
turret
this.
sabo
All
split
right,
is.
She can't use it. Ha! I knew we were going the right way. This is the neurotoxin generator. Bit bigger
Looks like
than-
Zypeh did not get a good turret cycle, which means we'll be seeing a turretless pancake shot from him. This is that almost sub-pixel perfect seam shot I was talking about earlier, except this time version 2. Little bit easier to do, a little bit wider of a gap with the setup that we have, but still not very big. You'll notice he's kind of aiming at the top of the door here, and we just shot a portal directly through it. It's very cool to do. Sushi into core now, which again normally is about a 4-minute map, but is cut down to about 30 seconds, or like 23 or something in the speedrun mod.
Don't do it. Not so fast.
Looks like he's not gonna get that fling off that he wants, but so gonna have a little bit of a slower core, especially compared to the usual very fast core. But he's still green on his splits into the into the first half of the back half. Really, I should just start calling that the third quarter. Like a football game. American football, of course, not European football. European football, actually, probably better at this point. Alright, portal seemed to work out just fine for Msushi. Gonna do door skip V2.0 and get on with his live. Unfortunately, he's red now. You hate to see it. We'll see if that time difference gets any better. But we do see a little bit of red in Msushi's timer. A good start with Cave Johnson here. Good portal stand, nice work, and then a re-portal ties it all off. Zypeh, of course, heading into underground here. So then this is, I mean, 2 maps, Cave Johnson and underground. So this gap is almost insurmountable, but I think it's workable. Team Zypeh, rise up. Doing left side cube clip just one more time. To see what happens, you know, he's testing the fates, really. Sushi having a pretty decent repulsion intro. Refreshing to see at the very least. Zypeh having to load a save, or maybe not. Out of Cave Johnson here.
All these science spheres are made of asbestos, by the way.
Looks like he unfortunately just like keeps dying. Looks like he's just, you know, prone to being dead. Zypeh lining up for the shot, however. If he dies here, that'll be, you know, we'll be disappointed but not surprised. Thank you, Infra, for the nice infographic here. Next load, I might give Sushi some sync. Chat, you can vote on that, but I want timers to be synced, because then it's easier to commentate.
Because that means it's about to hit 500 degrees, so we're going to need to go ahead and get that out of you pretty fast.
Okay, 12.5-ish, I suppose.
The simple fact that you're standing here listening to me means you've made a glorious contribution to science. As founder and CEO,
Alright, sync should be incoming.
thank you for your participation and hope we can count on you for another.
So we'll see Zypeh doing left side cube clip. Gonna go over to the back half of O2. Going to just not grab that cube, but saving himself on the jump. Okay, they're not perfectly synced, but you know, I'll take it. I did some like kind of basic math.
Greetings, friend. I'm Cave Johnson, CEO of Aperture Science. You might know us as a vital participant in the 19...
No, I think mainly that the cause of that would be Zypeh loading a lot more saves because of the routes he's doing. Of course, we will see what happens really with timers synced or sync dish, where the variation truly is, because Sushi's coming into prop flings here, and Zypeh is just coming out of bomb flings, which that's potatoes, however you pronounce it, and then also prop intro, and then prop flings, which he just finished. Oh, and Crazy Box. I forgot completely about Crazy Box. So that's like 4 maps.
Propulsion gel testing. You've made some real contributions to society for a change, and for that, humanity is grateful. If you had any belongings, please pick them up.
Anyway, into conversion intro, we will see if Lemon Skip treats Msushi right here. Because if it does, we've got an interesting prospect ahead of us.
The quality of our test subjects has risen dramatically.
Looks like Zypeh was just trying for the interesting route here. Doesn't look like he got it, but got a second try, so it's no problem at all. Looking for a Lemon Skip setup, exclamation point video in the chat. Looks like he's got it just fine. Not getting memed, that's the strat. And going directly for the trigger. Works out very well for him. Excellently done.
I know things look bleak, but that crazy man down there was right. Let's not take these lemons. We are going to march right back upstairs and make him put me back in my body.
Alright, Msushi gonna pull off the stuck launch one more time, getting us some weird gel, and maybe not enough momentum. But that's, you know, alright, I guess. Looks like he's gonna get a second try. Gonna be a little bit of lost time, but that's probably alright. And then straight into tube bounce, so we'll see how tube bounce treats him, because it is definitely tube bounce time. Getting ramped off that, so he's gonna have to wait a little bit as well. So, you know, more lost time in 3 gels than we might expect. Zypeh trying to do prop intro here, but just not getting the 3 portal off. Looks like he did this time, though. Evident frustration in his portal shots and his mouse movements here. We will see where Msushi ends up, but Zypeh already read into prop flings, so... Msushi still green on splits. Completely on PB pace.
For God's sake, your boxes with legs. It's literally your only purpose. Walking onto buttons. How can you not do the one warmer, boiling hot, okay, colder, ice cold. You're Arctic now. You're very cold, very.
Zypeh, of course, I think he's going to do the reportal again, so we're going to see a little bit of a strat difference here. Probably going to lose time over first Lemon Skip.
Or I get this itch. You know, it must be hard.
And yes, we did just see Sushi do cube throw.
Well, I'll design this Oh, that felt really good. Oh, here's an idea. Since making tests is so and nothing. All right, can't blame me for trying. Okay, new tests.
Alright, pretty soon I might deliver slightly more sync to Msushi's stream, but until then, we get to see Crouchfly 1 of 7, if I counted correctly, but I probably didn't count correctly, and I think I made that up.
Oh, wow. Well done. Seriously, both of you.
Zypeh just kind of playing conversion intro. Pretty frustrated. I mean, he's tilted. You can see it in his mouse movements.
Oh, yes. Well done.
Cube not going into that funnel there. Unfortunate to see. Gonna have to wall strafe a little bit to the end. And not at all losing the green.
I thought of some good news. He's going to run out of test chambers eventually. I never saw.
I'm coming. Don't start yet. You are not going to believe this. I found a sealed off wing. Hundreds of perfectly good test chambers just sitting there. Filled with skeletons. Shook them out. Good as new.
Alright, cube throw numero dos. Looks like it's not first try, but second try works just fine. Zypeh gonna come out of 3 gels and into chapter 8 with a very large deficit in time.
Alright, so that last test was seriously disappointing. Apparently, being civil is... it's not enough! If I'm such a moron, why can't you solve a simple test?
Sushi's still green out of polarity. How green? No one knows.
Now he's playing classical music.
But Pretty Green, by the looks of, he's minus 18. That is crazy. That is not sub 30 pace for him, but it could get there pretty soon.
Don't mind me, just moving the old test chamber a little
Is he on sub 30 pace? I thought his PB was a 26. Or 30-26, yeah. Cool, okay.
What was that?
Right, anyway, stop the box. Looks like it's working just fine for him. I'm going to do a reporter on the side. Get round to the end. Zypeh just finishing out the second half of tests.
Number of ways to solve them. Have a brainwave. I'm going to tape you solving these, and then watch 10 at once. Get a more sort of concentrated burst of science. Oh, on a related note, I am going to need you to solve these 10 times as fast. Anyway, just give me a wave, would you, before you solve this one, alright? I don't want to spoil the ending for when I watch it later.
Alright, both of Verona's going to be in a loading screen here. I don't think I'm going to deliver a lot of sync to Msushi's. I don't think I'm going to do it, because the timers are pretty synced with loads. So, I mean, we'll see later in the game here, but looks like that shot went just fine for Sushi. Going to have to go down to the floor. But Green will see some variety of milkshake from Msushi here. Unfortunately, hitting the invisible wall. Ooh, this is not a good save. There we go, he's got it. No problem, no problem. Looking for chocolate milkshake, and he's got it. No problem. And if prop catch goes well, we'll have a run on our. Because, admittedly, Chapter 9 is Chapter 9, but the finales aren't that hard to screw up. Zypeh on the Franken turrets, am I right, train?
Alright, he's not even trying to be subtle anymore. Or maybe he still is, in which case, well, that...
Only 3 more chambers to your big surprise.
Msushi, unfortunately not getting crouch fly here. Gonna have to do a little bit of extra work to get it done, but he's gonna get it done nonetheless. Again, going to lose time, but not as he's still green. That's the nice thing. He's still green.
Dying to know what your big surprise is. Well, only 2 more chambers. Surprise! We're doing it now.
Now, unfortunately, that crouch fly in repulsion polarity is just one that doesn't like to work most of the time. Not most of the time. It just sometimes doesn't work, you know? If you don't practice your crouching beforehand, it tends to not favor the unlucky.
Okay, look, I've decided I'm not gonna kill you. Okay?
Gonna look for this jump here out of Finale 1. Looks like he got it just fine.
Can't help but notice that you're not coming back. Which is, oh, I've got an idea. Ha! Death
Through to the
trap.
back half of Finale 2 here. Gonna walk through the death trap,
Was that your bullet?
remaining unscathed.
It went, oh.
And we'll see how fast he gets crouch fly here.
Well, no matter, because I'm still holding all the cards. And guess what? They're all full houses. Never actually played cards, meaning to learn. Anyway, new turrets, not defective.
Finale 2, yeah, turrets are the fun part of Finale 2, really.
I would imagine.
Again, not a pipe here. Joe's already here. Unfortunately, Msushi not part of lamp standing gang. Looks like he's gonna try and go for the turret reset, I guess? I mean, getting shot a little bit is, you know, better than getting shot to death. Unfortunately, no longer on PB pace because of that Finale 2. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. That's a great question, Polarized Ions. They are, in fact, no clipping across the map.
Okay, I'll take that as a no then.
Zypeh doing prop catch? Zypeh doing prop catch. 0 problems with Zypeh doing prop catch. Looks like Msushi gonna head into Finale 4 here. If he saves time, he saves time, but if he doesn't, he doesn't. Looks like he's on, he's red on his splits, but, getting better. So, I mean, we'll certainly see how Finale 4 goes for him. Yeah, how else would you fly? SMH. So we're gonna see a bomb preserve from him. Hope that works out. Nice to see. First core, fast core. Do a little bit of cube throw, because that works. Ooh, unfortunately losing the last bomb here as well, so that's gonna be rough for him.
Warning, core corruption at 75%.
Zypeh having a little bit of trouble with Finale 1, on the back half more specifically, but seems to work out just fine.
Warning, core corruption at 100%.
You have been a thorn in my side long enough.
Stalemate resolution associate. Please press the stalemate resolution button.
And early moonshot makes this, like, even if he got it, it would be, you know, plus 1 second or something, but he's having a rough time with moonshot. Looks like a 30-33 for him. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. This was 7 seconds off PB, and, that is, you know, a devastating fall from grace. We'll see Zypeh audio for, Finale 2 here. Looks like he might be part of Lampstanding Gang? Is not part of Lampstanding Gang, is just going to go around the way. Risk getting shot to death.
Crushing's too good for him. First, he'll spend a year in the incinerator. Year 2, cryogenic refrigeration wing. Then, 10 years in the chamber I built where all the robots scream at you.
Okay, I'll take that as a no then.
Zypeh gonna go and hit his head on these wires that have collision, but really shouldn't have collision in the first place. Gonna head into Finale 4, absolutely zero problem, and, we're on the way.
Corrupted cores, we're in luck. You find a way to stun him, I'll send you a core, and then you attach it to him. If we do it at plug me at luck.
Some should but don't, others shouldn't but do. That's, alright. Zypeh going to attempt to bunny hop over to the pipe in time. Did he get it? He got it. Let's see if he ends up with a better bomb preserve than we saw just a second ago. That portal placement is a little weird, and those bombs not acting the way they should. Kind of just hovering slightly off the ground. So we know Zypeh's time, but you don't. Place bets in the chat.
Warning, core corruption at 75%.
Fortunately, Zypeh having a little bit of a rough Finale 4 here. And not getting the fling off. That's exceptionally rough to see, but there is a jump pad there for, you know, that specific reason.
You have been a thorn in my side long enough.
Stalemate resolution associate. Please press the stalemate resolution button.
Looks like 33-15-35. An exceptionally well-made guess by Lowengest. I hope I'm saying your name right also. So, assuming these invites got sent, we should see both of our runners in the commentary booth momentarily. And so, joined with us now in the commentary booth, two runners of highest caliber, Zypeh and or Msushi, depending on who you ask. How's it going?
I'm doing good.
You're doing good? Now, I have one question here, and it's for Msushi. I know it's a soft spot, but minus 19 in Chapter 8.
It happens.
It
What are you
happens?
gonna do about it? I was green literally that entire run
Very interesting.
until finale 2. So
Ooh. Well, and then what was it in Finale 2? I mean, I'm sure someone made a clip, but I've forgotten.
oh, I just toggled the turrets early. Lost me like
Ah.
5 seconds. But I was surprised by how well I played today. 230s is really good.
No, it is still a very good day to be an Msushi fan.
This is true.
And Zypeh, I mean, you have consistent times across the board. I mean, this was 233s for you?
Yes. They weren't very good times, but they were consistent. And
Sure.
I mean, I'm pretty sure 99% of the people watching knew who was gonna win. And I wish I could have pulled it to a game 3, but all in all, I mean, I'm not upset.
And okay, so you mentioned earlier that you were playing this blind. What have you been doing if not this?
Co-op challenge mode.
Co-op challenge mode? Very cool. With who?
Mostly Rex. Actually,
Alright.
almost exclusively Rex.
We had a couple of we had a Zypeh fan club in chat.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you all, and I am sorry I disappointed.
Well, and this, I mean, it's still pretty interesting on the back end, because, I mean, I need to pull up the bracket, but this was a winner's bracket match, yes?
Yeah, that's correct.
Which means this match will be, so this was match 82, so this is, loser of 82 is going to, so Zypeh here will face either Spitta or Burger 40.
Ooh,
Oh
that's
no.
dangerous.
Two, again, very high caliber runs. Like, you know, hard to beat them.
Potential winners.
Yes, no, I mean,
My favorites.
you can't play play your cards on that one, because I mean it's Burger 40 and Spitta.
I mean, Burger 40's progression in the tournament has been really cool to watch.
Oh,
This is very
absolutely. I
true.
mean, you know, I don't mean to like detract from the current runners, but Burger 40, the 33 seed, just because he had, you know, kind of sat there and made a run and threw it on the leaderboards when seeding was happening, is now, I think, what is it, like 15th or something?
He's 7th on the leaderboard right
7th?
now.
Woo! No, hot time, yes. Burger 40's got a 32.25.
And next winners round is going to be either Can't Even or Hassa versus Msushi.
That will also be interesting to watch. Which I don't know about you, but that's an easy Hazza Msushi match for me.
I think Hassa is slated to take it all.
Sure. That's one of
Pretty
those
scary.
2-0 sweeps. And then of course, the winner of that will go on to face the winner of what I'm going to guess is going to be Bets Runner v Led Astray.
And I am the president of the Let Us Stray fan club, so I'm going to root for him.
Sure.
Yo.
Okay.
How do I get entry?
PayPal me $10. It
Alright,
goes
we'll
towards
discuss
Let Us Stray, of
off-screen.
course.
Do you have to keep up like a file system to keep track of members, or is that just
No,
like server
it's a
cost?
one-time thing. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Right. Anyway, so anyway, good runs today from both of you. Exceptionally well done. Any last words for the chat, for the Twitch chat, for the fans?
GG.
Go Burger 40.
Go Burger 40.
As always, make sure to follow the runners on Twitch, twitch.tv/msushi100. And twitch.tv/Zypeh. And is it Zypeh underscore or just regular
Yes.
Zypeh?
Yeah, Zypeh underscore.
It's Zypeh underscore, so that's interesting. And then make sure to follow the commentator on Twitch as well. But Msushi100 will take your Twitch Prime sub and run away with it.
True.
On the flip side, I've been base driven. It's been nice having you, Speed Gaming 1. All 192 of you, but you know, at its peak, 480 something. After that, you know, make sure to follow the runners, make sure to follow commentators, make sure to drink water, and of course, you can make sure to follow me everywhere else, including but not limited to Spotify, SoundCloud, Twitter, Wikipedia, Instagram, Deezer, Tidal, YouTube, Mixer, App Music, iHeartRadio, SDC, and Sports.io. We'll catch you on the flip side, Speed Gaming 1. It's been nice knowing you.